cleaned for us, ran errands for us, but more importantly, spent time with Mom these last few months. That meant the world to us and to her, and we'll be forever grateful for that. So thank you for that. You know, it's an incredible village that we have here, and it's you know, we're honored to be a part of that. Claudia remembers how Mom used to carve out time to spend with each of us, and you'd have 100% of her attention, which you can imagine would be difficult to do with a family of 9, and the Perettes across the street with 10. It was kind of a package deal we had to deal with our entire lives. But she was able to do it. Will remembers how Mom would cook our favorite meal on our birthday. His was fried chicken. Mine was roast and rice and gravy. Couldn't beat it. But I think Claudia was right. I remember Mom called me into her room. Every important conversation happened in her room. That was her office. Generally, it was not a pleasant experience. It was a bit, you know, like going to the principal's office. But on this occasion, it was different. She said, Roger, I need you to do a new chore for me. I was like, okay. She said, but it's complex, and it's complicated, and it involves math, but I think you're perfect for this chore. She said, yeah, you're smart and innovative, and you're you know, kind of very, you know, helpful around the house, and you do whatever I need you to do. And she went on and on. By the time she was finished with me, I would have ran through a brick wall for her. I was like, yes, I'm your man. What is this chore you would have me do? She said, I need you to mix the milk. Yes, I will mix the milk. What exactly is mix the milk? Well, Mr. Willie from Borden's would drop off 2 half-gallons of milk on Tuesdays and Fridays. And on a blue moon, Mom would order a quart of Borden's chocolate milk. Those were great days. But I regress. And so we had the 4 half-gallons without one going to last us, right? So Mom figured out that if you take the carnation powdered milk and mix it with water, most disgusting thing I've ever drank in my life, literally not fit for human consumption. But she figured that if you mix the Borden milk with the powdered milk, her kids were too stupid to figure it out. And she was right. Right? So she turned 2 gallons of milk into 4 gallons of milk. And that seemed to work. But in the process, spent some time with her 8-year-old boy, gave him just a little bit more confidence. She was the master at that. And she could stretch a dollar. You know, she used to put water in our scrambled eggs with the explanation that it made them fluffy. Oh yeah, we love fluffy eggs, Mom. And she would serve us a snack of mayonnaise sandwiches. 2 pieces of bread, mayonnaise in the middle. Oh yeah, we love mayonnaise sandwiches. Unbelievable. But she was the master when it came to Kroger, or as I used to call her, Kate Roger. And so she would show up with her Rolodex of coupons, right, and go into the store, get to the counter with 16 cans of Campbell's soup. And the lady would promptly say, ma'am, that's 4 for $1, 1 coupon per person. And Mom would look behind her, you know, have a string of 6 kids and say, you do the math. And the poor lady would look up at the manager and was like, oh no, here we go. And the manager saw Mom come in the store. He was hiding from her. He was behind the plexiglass, just give it to her, get her out of the store. Because you never wanted to hear those dreaded 3 words. Where's the manager? Oh my God. Some little guy who's just trying to eke out a living, you know, would have the wrath of Toni come down on his world. Absolutely did not want that. There was another meeting in the bedroom, and this ran more part, of course. And Mom said, did you do this, Roger? And boy, the wheels were turning. I was like, I'm not going to spin this you on. And she said, I know you have never lied to me. I need you to tell me the truth. And I was thinking, did she even grow up on Montrose? It was a well-known fact that I very rarely told the truth. There she was, giving me the benefit of the doubt. And so, but I had an idea. I was like, yes, I did this thing, and I feel bad, and I'm sorry. All those other things you may have heard about, I didn't do any of those, but this one thing I did. So she said, thank you for telling me the truth. Go to your room and think about what you did and say 10 Hail Marys. And I was like, this feels an awful lot like confession, right? So I'm walking to my room, but I'm like, I'm free and clear. This is awesome. Plus, I can probably get away with just saying 8 Hail Marys. You'll never know. But she did have a sense of humor, and she could tell a story. And Ben recalls how the Kellers could always tell a story. Uncle Jake, Uncle Reggie, Emil, Ginger, Carl, they could tell a story. And Mom, it didn't matter what the occasion was, weddings, birthdays, leaving home, coming home, she had a point for every story. She was able to encapsulate the environment down to a few words, make it hysterical, and hit the mark. She was awesome in that. But she just brought humor to every situation, which really helped out in some pretty tenuous situations. She would wield that like a tool. Stella remembers a time where we were getting up for school bright early in the morning, nobody talking, moping around, and Mom was just there at the kitchen just cooking, right? And it was around Halloween, and when she turned around, she had a witch's mask on, scared the bejesus out of her. We were awake then. It was like, okay, yeah, game on here. And she was queen of the one-liners, right? So she had a sarcastic remark for everything. That's just how she was. And, in any normal family, when you have kind of the banter back and forth, in our family, it was like brought to an Olympic sport level. It was unbelievable. You had to bring your A game every day or you would get crushed. And so it wasn't, surprising that of her 9 kids, 4 of them were awarded Whitties in their class. She just hammered it into us. The apple didn't fall far from that tree. Claudia remembers a party that we were having some of Dad's workers, right? And so we were cleaning the house all day. We were helping Mom prepare the food and get the drinks ready. And when it came time for the party, nobody showed up. And Mom promptly surprised us and said, the party's for you kids. She had written a poem for all 9 kids. And we sat and ate and drank, and the tears started flowing as she read each one of the poems. It was an awesome, magical. Who does stuff like that? That is incredible. But she was the best in times of crisis. She was unflappable. The more chaotic the situation got, the calmer she got. She had seen it all, couldn't flap her. I remember watching Philip, one of George's boys, one day as a baby. He was sitting on the bed. I turned around for a second, and he just fell off the bed. He started wailing. I was like, oh my gosh, I broke this kid. I started crying. Mom rushes in, immediately reads the situation, picks him up. It happens all the time. I'm sure he bounced. No problem. Like, oh my gosh. George tells a story of he was preparing for his first dance in junior high. And he was all decked out, had his hair styled, but there was one piece of hair, it was just up. So he got Dad's clippers and went to just trim it and accidentally shaved the top of his head. He had a bald spot on the top of his head. He was all upset, went to see Mom, said, I can fix that. Got some black shoe polish. Rubbed it on his head and sent him along his way. It was incredible. But the worst was we were playing baseball across the street, and there was a bunch of young moms sitting out there in their on chairs, and one of the boys had gotten too close to the guy with the bat, and I mean he hit the kid in the back of the head. His head split open, blood gushing everywhere as he dropped to the floor. I was like, oh my gosh, I've just seen my first death. The mom was hysterical. You can imagine a young mom. She scooped up that kid, ran across the street, burst into our kitchen. Mom was there just cooking, dinner, right? Grabbed the kid up, put him on the sink, started rinsing his head out, started with, oh, he'll be fine. I was like, no, Mom, this is not a rub some dirt in it kind of situation. This kid's gonna die. But she calmed the mom down, she calmed the kid down, rinsed his head, wrapped the towel around him, threw him in the car, got him to the emergency room, stitched up, and he was fine. But I was amazed at how she could just calm the entire room down. I was like, this is business as usual, nothing going on here, this is how we operate, It was incredible. And I was thinking, how does she do that? right? But then I realized, all of our older siblings, they were terrible. They were bad kids. I mean, they were so bad, the bar was set so high. There's nothing we could do wrong by the time she got there. We're a bunch of little angels, right? Same thing on the correct side. Those older kids that literally Miss Peggy had, they were bad kids, right? But all of the younger ones on both sides were really, angels. I mean, except for Lewis and Will, understandable. But other than that, I mean, we were good kids. Dana remembers all of the trips to Eunice, Louisiana. The Kellers owned the Queen and the theater and the Liberty Theater, and so we get to watch movies for free. Those are great times. Spending time with the Keller cousins over there, especially on Christmas Eve at Grandma's, those were magical moments. And they were just a movie family. And so all the old movies, when I'd come home and spend time with Mom, we'd watch old movies. It was a great thing, a passion of hers. Gina and Nancy had talked about playing 500 and the trips to the beach and playing bourrée, drinking salty dogs, the trip to the Keller's camp on the Calcasieu River, and bridge, one of Mom's big passions. Those are great memories. But Mom's real passion was her religion. She just loved her some Jesus. And, they had an incredible prayer group. And a prayer list that we were all on multiple times growing up. It was like a revolving door on that prayer list. And I could about imagine the conversation up in heaven. It's like, look, instead of answering this dissertation of a prayer list every day for this lady, let's just get her up there and cut that dissertation off and get her answering some of these. So I'm sure that's how it happened. But Ms. Margaret was right. At her service, we were one of the original families that split off from Fatima when this parish started 50 years ago. And Mom taught CCD, Parish Council, Altar Society, Eucharistic Minister, Lector. She did start the Adoration Program. What an incredible legacy to leave behind. She worked for the diocese for a number of years where her passion was working with unwed mothers. She also taught English as a second language, another passion of hers. I happened to be here. I was just in town. Me and Mom came to Mass one Saturday when they announced that she was winning the Bishop's Award for a lifetime of service. And I gotta tell you, I was so proud. After Mass, all her friends was coming up to congratulate her. I was like, that's my mom. Yeah, that's her. But she loved to read and learn about religion. Her and Miss Peggy Correct, her partner in crime all these years, received their masters in theology from Loyola at the spry young age of 60. Pretty impressive, lifelong learners. But the most important lesson she taught us was the care, the love, and the compassion that she showed Dad as she managed through his Alzheimer's phase, and the courage and grace she showed in her own decline. It was a true lesson for us. She was an incredible mother, wife, grandmother, aunt, friend, teacher, neighbor, parishioner, storyteller, a comedian, a poet, a student, a leader, and a servant. And whatever she was doing, she was all in. There was no halfway doing it with Mom. She was all in. There's a picture in our kitchen at the sink on the windowsill. And Mom's swimming in the lake. And she's got a couple of the girls with her. And she's looking up at the camera. And she's got this beautiful smile on her face. And the caption reads, Joie de vivre, joy of living. And I can't think of a better encapsulation of an incredible life well lived. Well done. Thank you all again for being here. It means the world to us. We appreciate your time. Thank you.